Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Martin Sibley Show. And we've got double trouble from the United States of America today, Danny and Steve. And we're going to be talking about their film. And as we've just been chatting before, there's a whole lot more to talk about through the film, through the community, through the values that I think we're all very similarly aligned on. So it's just going to be a really fun conversation. But yeah, both welcome to the podcast and thanks for joining me today.
Thanks for having us. We're excited. Yeah.
So yeah, we I was very fortunate to be able to have a watch of the film in preparation for our chat. It felt like, the kind of chat shows where the host gets exclusive, access to the film to have a look before. Yeah, just didn't disappoint. I mean, there's so many things to talk around it, but I think the overriding thing watching it with my wife was that we just have not historically seen enough stories of disabled people. And as we were chatting earlier, that seeing someone just like us, inverted commas, on screen in different forms, whether it be film, series, documentary, it just does something. It just lights up something inside. And I definitely had a lot of those good vibes watching the film. So the film's called Good Bad Things, which I think the title is epic as well. I'll throw to you, Danny. Be good to hear kind of where the film idea started from. Feel free to throw out whatever you want to about your background, whatever you feel called to share, but kind of kick us off with where this film idea came from. And I'm imagining it was quite a journey getting it to be finished. Probably an understatement, but yeah, just fill us in.
Yeah, you would listen, you would think it was like the craziest long drawn out journey to get to production. But it was actually the complete opposite. It was very spontaneous in my mind. I've been doing fashion for the last 15 plus years. That's like where my background is from. I was feeling a little creatively stuck for a while, and my best friend Shane Stanger, who's the director, co-writer, and producer of Good Bad Things. He did my best friend sixth grade, was going back to the USC Start program, film school. And he had at the time like a school project where he had to do a short. And he's like, oh, let's just do it with you, Danny. And I was like, okay. It was a 2 day shoot, very simple. Um, it worked. And he kind of felt like we had something from that short. And I was like, I went back to my normal job, which was fashion. A couple months later, Shane calls me. This was April or May of 2023. And he just calls me and he's like, hey, I want to do a feature and I want to do it with you. I liked how the short went. I got someone writing a script. I was like, dude, I've never acted. Like, I don't know what you mean by a feature. What does that mean? And he's like, dude, don't worry about it. We'll touch base in May when I get the script. We got the script. It was very ableist. It wasn't very good. It was a good script, but not for me and for Shane. And he's like, "Hey, we could scrap this thing, or we can sit down and you and I can write it." And I was like, "I've never written a script. Like, what do you? I've never written anything in my life." And he's like, "Don't worry about it. We'll just sit down and just write us, like write what we know, right? Well, like things that resonate with us." And I was like, "Cool, I'm down." We wrote the main outline in May. And literally we were on set in August shooting 9 weeks of Good Bad Things. It was pretty special. That was 2022, sorry, 2022 summer. Yeah, and then we did like a year plus of post, and then found our way into doing the festival run when we needed to bring on an executive producer, which was Steve Way. Um, but yeah, it was very not the typical and what I've heard film like planning. It was very much just like, let's do it. Shane's a very much a go-getter. He's very impatient. So when he has an idea and he wants something, he goes for it. And that's kind of what we did. That's kind of why I feel like the movie works, is because we didn't overthink it and we didn't try to like dive into all the things about the script, about like oh, is this going to portray this? Is this going to like mean this? It was just like we're just doing what we know and pulling from experiences authentically.
Mm.
And thankfully it worked.
Yeah, and I think we all know when we kind of get in our head about what should a script look like or how should shooting a film be, and yeah, it kind of we get a bit tied up in knots around it, and it gets harder. So yeah, I mean I think what you said resonates, but it's still easier said than done sometimes to just flow it out from the heart, which it sounds like you guys did, which I
Yeah.
think comes through the output of the film as well.
Thank you. Yeah, it was like in even with the from the disabled land, you're just like you could overthink every dialogue or
Mm.
every trail or shot just to make sure you're authentically representing us in the best way. And like yeah, it was considered, but
Yeah.
ultimately it was authentically we just kind of did it because that's just the only way we know how to do things. And everyone's been like talking about it, and Shane and I look at each other and we're like, that wasn't even kind of a thought in our mind because that's just what we do and who we are. And I'm so glad it came out like that, but it's just us.
Yeah, amazing. Let's throw it over to Steve. Be good to again, if there's anything you want to share background wise, but also as Danny queued you up nicely for when you came into the project as well. It'd be great to hear how that was, what you thought at the time, and how it's been for you since as well.
Yeah, Danny would slide into my DMs. He was like, he was building it up. Every story, fire emoji, fire emoji. I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? And then after a couple of readings, he was like, hey, I just made this movie. And we need an executive producer. Can you watch it? And can we get on a Zoom? So it was during the strikes, the actors and writers strikes. So I didn't have a whole lot going on. So I was honored, that Santa reached out, and it honestly felt like a gift from God, during this time of hopelessness and no work. So I watched it, and right away I felt attacked because of how real it is.
Mhm.
But I also saw its potential, and it was a very rough cut. What was it, the first or second cut?
Yeah, first or second go. We still hadn't done reshoots.
Yeah, it was very far from finished, but I saw the story. So we got on the call, and I was like, yeah, I'm all in. And then we spent the next 6 months getting ready for festivals. And our first festival, we won the two most major awards. So we're like, okay, we got something here.
So was
And
this
then,
like 2023? Is that right?
oh, 24.
Or 24
Yeah.
last year? Wow.
We are a year, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was like, yeah, most people are like, it's a 6, 7 year process to make a movie. We literally wrote a script in 2, 3 months or less, actually 2, 3 weeks maybe. And then the longest days for us was post, which I think is what comes off the movie so well, is that we really like leaned into making sure that the edit was exactly the edit we wanted, that the score and the color and all the VFX was exactly done the level we wanted to be done. So that took us the longest process. But yeah, it came together. We were in festivals a year ago, and now we're on Apple and Amazon in the US.
Yeah.
Um, in a year, that's pretty a quick turnaround for an indie movie like ours.
Yeah.
Um, but that's the only way we know how to do things.
Yeah, well, as you were saying, Danny, like I'm definitely from that when you first came into it, like what's a feature? Like that me and most people that are not from the sort of production world wouldn't know how things play out. But like even just hearing you both chat, you can appreciate, how much goes into making something like a feature film. And obviously that post production stuff, there's a lot to factor in. I mean, so Steve, like, is that directly stuff you'd done on other films? I know like you're in Rami, you've done other projects, or was it like because you've been involved in that world more so there was like you had that kind of background and experience? I guess just how direct or indirect what were the experiences you had that you then could bring to that post production?
Yeah, I mean, I've been producing comedy shows since 2010, so at that time, well over a decade. Uh, I always wanted to produce.
Yeah,
I'm good at it, but I never thought I would have that opportunity so soon.
yeah.
I was scared. I was scared
The
to,
unknown, right? It's the unknown.
yeah, yeah. Like I said, I've only done comedy shows, but I knew I was good at it. I did it all for charity, so I knew I could pull it off. But it was very intimidating.
Hmm.
But again, I think after we won those awards, it felt a lot better.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, okay, I know what I'm doing here.
yeah.
So, yeah, it's all just setting setting up stuff, using your connections, just share the movie. And I don't think that my career up until that point set me up for that.
Yeah.
I knew enough people. I had done enough to know what I was doing. But I also, I guess, most importantly, I had the eye. I didn't know it was a great film.
Hmm.
The ability on that. It was just a wonderful movie.
Yeah.
So that was number one,
Yeah.
which is a beautiful film, and I had to get it out to the world.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it comes through from both of you, like the passion for this story to be told and to get it out to the world, and then the kind of serendipity of different backgrounds, different collaborations to help bring it all into that finished project. I know the community side is something that we're all very keen to push forward that importance of disability inclusion and the disability community. I mean, I can imagine lots of the feedback you've had just having watched the film, but like what's that been like since it won those awards and it's been seen by more and more people? First of all, let's start with disabled people. Like, what kind of things have you heard, and what has it meant to people?
That's a loaded question, Martin.
Very loaded,
Yeah,
right?
it's super loaded. I don't even know if I can answer this the best. Yeah, it's been absolutely incredible. Like again, I did not envision myself to be in this place where we have this thing that is impacting our community that I love so much in such like not like a sad, way. It's in such an empowering way.
Mm,
Um, People come out the movie and they're like, I cried, I laughed, I felt, but I'm just like so lit up from watching this movie
mhm,
that I want more, that I like need to go like call this person or dive into this thing that's going on with me. Like it's just like it's really rad to see art in this form create such a movement like that.
mm,
And we went to Slam Dance Unstoppable, which is disability focused films, which that was really amazing. The best And then we had Real Abilities New York. Real Abilities New York is only disabled films. And that was like a packed house of almost like 50% of the audience was disabled. And that room was just electric, like
Mhm.
I've never felt before. And then like I'm still getting DMs, I'm getting messages from individuals. I was telling you before when we hopped on this, like I'm getting DMs from people I don't know of, and they're very heartfelt DMs. And then I click on their profile, and they're all mostly disabled people. And it's been an honor. I'm feeling very grateful at this moment, and that's kind of why Steve and I are doing what we're doing right now, is because we have a film that's going to be available. What's in the US is available. We're hoping to get into the UK very soon, in Europe and other countries. But that can make people feel this way, can create type of just unity in some way, shape, or form, especially during this chaotic time that we live in, especially in the US.
Mhm.
And if it could at least, like, at the very little, if it can allow you 96 minutes to just escape the chaoticness, or if it can at least get you to be like, I am powerful. I am sexy. I am perfect. I am capable of love. I am everything. Then we did something.
Yeah.
And that's just been like the sentiment that Steve and I have been sharing with everybody. It's only the beginning. We've only been out a week, and this thing's already just like going crazy. Give us a couple more weeks. You're looking at the marketing team right now. This is as indie as it gets. You know, my brother Steve and I are just like fucking, we're slapping each other from across the coast, just being like, how do we just reach out to more Martins and more individuals who've got amazing voices? And lo and behold, you all are answering our DMs, and we are blown away and feeling so honored to be able to just share and talk about this film.
Yeah, amazing. And I come to you in a moment, Steve, on that question. And if you want to take it a different way as well, you can. But for me, the thing I really came away with was like that disability representation that I always, a lot of my work I do, I have that when I was 15, there, and that was a while ago now, there was a lot of things that just weren't in media around representation of people like me. And I look at how with the internet and social media and with films like what you guys have made, that there is more representation. I just think that has such a positive, profound effect on particularly younger people to have that awareness of whatever our circumstances are, there's always these amazing future opportunities and life and portrayed through the film. I think what I also took away was the messages in the film are universal. So it's not like only someone with a disability is going to resonate. Actually, everyone will resonate with the messages about if we don't love ourselves, there's so many difficulties in our everyday life at work and in relationships. And I think the characters that were around you, Danny, are just amazing as well. Like the depth of friendship, and the hilarity and the humor in that friendship, and in finding love, the sensitivity in those moments as well. And I think again for me, I sort of was looking back. I've been with my wife for like 12 years, but brought back a lot of memories of when we met, and she doesn't have a disability, and all of how that felt and played out. But I guess what I'm saying is there's the layers of the disability part. Everyone with a disability has family and friends and colleagues around them that is that influence of that experience. And then people that have never met someone with a disability are going to love the film just because, as I say, those messages really are universal. It's like the human experience. So, Steve, feel free to respond and take whatever's on your mind if you want to go disability or beyond. But I really wanted to share that takeaway for me as well.
It's just real. You know, we're finally getting, authentically told and portrayed story.
Yeah,
Why it's so good.
in all its
Yeah,
beautiful messiness, right?
we've been trying to get that for decades.
Yeah.
And watch how easy it is. Watch how great it is.
Hmm.
It's so good. And that's what made Rami so good. It's so authentic, right? That's Rami's story. Story. That's my story. This is Danny's story. And it just works. I don't like so many times we've heard we don't know what to do with this. We don't know how to market this. And we're like, okay, well, we do. We know what we're doing,
Yeah.
obviously,
Yeah.
for that over and over again. So then why are you still questioning us? How much more do we have to show you
Yeah.
as a community? As a
Yeah.
community, as a whole. Sorry, I'm like, I get so fired up now, I can't speak. But it's so frustrating. We're doing it.
Yeah.
We, we did it.
Mm-hmm.
What more do you
Oh,
I was
uh,
sorry, Danny, go on.
no, everything Steve said there, it's like, yeah, we, for so long, media has written stories about what it means to be disabled. And the media is the most, it's one of the most powerful things in the world. And we inherently accept those stories as our truths. And we don't even realize it. You just get born into disability, you become disabled, you eventually gradually become disabled as you get older, and you just accept these stories that aren't our stories. And it's so deeply woven, so buried that we don't even realize they're not our truths. And but we feel there's something off. And that's kind of what Steve and I have been kind of on a journey about. And yeah, our community is, in my mind, the most powerful community out there. When we come together, it's like nothing anyone's ever seen before. And like, yeah, like Steve said, look what we did. Like my best friend who, listen, he's able-bodied, but I call him an ally, supporter, part of our community, reached out and wanted to do a movie about me and about our story. And then we shot it. He let me inject my story. Post, our editor was disabled. Executive producer brought on Steve Way. Theatrical, we brought on Annalisa Shoemaker, who's also disabled. We want to amplify that. I brought on Shane Burkow and Hannah Burkow. And now we are in this amazing TVOD window. And what are we doing? We're just going to the community. We're talking to more Martins.
Yeah.
We're not going to other people because we know that the way to make this the most powerful thing out there to create change now is within our community, and it's possible. So that's what we've been doing this whole entire journey,
Yeah.
one after another, and yeah, it's going to keep happening.
So well said. I think one thing was coming out, I was going to ask earlier around the financing side. It'd be interesting, like how if it's something you're able to share. But like as Steve was speaking to, we all understand barriers, and it sounds like with industry inverted commas, there were barriers and resistance from what I'm kind of hearing from some of what we spoke about.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I think because also what I'm hearing loud and clear is it's despite the barriers, despite what we might all think as the old guard in the industry, you've still done it, and so many others that have a story to tell could do it too, and very often it's that limiting belief of, oh, you have to have the buy-in of the industry to do stuff like this has probably been a blocker for people. So I think there's a important message for people watching and listening, like everyone can do it too, if that's their kind of passion and their calling as well. But it'd be great just to hear a little bit about the kind of the nuts and bolts, like how you got it funded and anything you want to share about the industry side of it as well.
Oh no, this is a can of worms, Steve.
Just say what's
No,
comfortable.
the best
Yeah.
way to say it is like, yeah, most times film get outside funding and so on and so forth. Like, that's not how we did our film.
Mm-hmm.
Like Shane believed in this project. He injected the first capital to get us through production because he
Mm-hmm.
believed in it. So he put his money where his mouth is. And that's quite rare and special for a first time director still in grad school to put all his money up front to put into a authentic disabled story project. Like, that's something.
Yeah.
That's why Shane's my best friend. That's why Shane is one of the most special, unique human beings I will ever come across of in this whole entire world. And then yeah, you as films progress, it needs more injection of capital. And we could have gone and fundraised. We could have slowed the project down and taken outside money. That could have directed the trajectory of like authenticity of what we were trying to do. And I knew we had something, and I was like, Shane, we got this. And so him and I put the rest of the capital in, and him and I basically wholeheartedly own the whole entire movie.
Mm-hmm.
Um, getting it all the way to distribution, where we now have Music Box as our distributor. But yeah, to finance the movie, it's two best friends. We put
Yeah.
our money where our mouth is. We bet on ourselves. We knew we had something special, and unfortunately, like it's kind of what it takes right now. That needs to change. Obviously, there needs to be financing and capital to support disabled stories and disabled creators and disabled talent out there because of how this industry works. But like Shane and I were grateful enough to have had the ability to get the film to that level. And yeah, I still pinch myself that we're like, we own it,
Yeah.
like we were able to make all the big decisions without having to like just two best friends calling each other, being like, hey, what do you think? Sure, let's go.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of having to go through a bunch of red tape with other people, we just trusted our gut, trusted each other, and just navigated this film all the way to where it is. And that's rare. I don't know if I'll ever be able to experience anything like that ever again. I hope I do. But that was like the coolest thing is that we just we called the shots.
Yeah. Yeah, which is epic. And again, we're not trying to turn this into a how to make a movie podcast as much as we want other people to know it's possible. But I think what I would also say to what you said there is like when you put yourself out and start moving, things tend to come together when there's that belief and there's that passion and momentum. So like how it played out for you guys will be unique, but in general, we know when we push something forward, things tend to come along when the moment we need them to, and the magic happens, right?
Absolutely. Like we got offers to inject money into our film.
Yeah,
But it was like offers that didn't feel aligned with our message and our story. Like it could have helped us out tremendously. Like, am I stoked that I'm in super amount of debt in this movie? Like, I'm just being honest with you. Like, it's
yeah,
not the best feeling, but it's the best investment I've ever made in my whole entire life. I would do it over and over and over and over again
yeah,
because of what we have and where we're at with this thing. But that's what it's gonna. I'm a business guy. I've been doing this for 15 plus years in other facets of my life, and like you got to do those things. You got to be an entrepreneur. That's like another big thing that we brought into this movie is like you don't see disabled people being business people, and we are
mhm,
very, very smart intelligent human beings. We are creating and building businesses, financial worlds for ourselves all the time. And those
yeah,
stories need to be told. And that's what Shane and I did is we invested in us. We knew that this is something that was going to maybe not like so much monetarily have a huge return, but we knew it was going to create something that was bigger than that.
yeah,
And
yeah.
that's what we invested in. And look at where we're at with this. So we're pretty stoked.
Yeah, yeah. Well said. Steve, feel free to build on anything Danny said. Again, if if you feel to. But also I think kind of looking forward, I know I think it's been very apparent you want to get the word out very much with the community, by the community. As I think Steve does know a bit more. I don't know if Danny knows as much. My day job is I'm an entrepreneur and I run an influencer marketing agency. So there are lots of content creators that we work with, and I really hope some of them are up for having a chat with you and sharing it to their audiences as well. But yeah, like whether there's more around that as well or just other points, it'd be good just to kind of draw us to a close really of the future and how people can help and any challenges or just things you're even more excited about what's to come in the near and far future from the film.
Yeah. You want to go, Steve? You want me to go?
Just, Fred to
What?
Steve and then we're
I
back
get to,
to Danny at the end, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, I think what you just said is our mission. We just spread the word. That's it. Just get eyes on it.
Yeah,
I've said this from the very beginning. You don't have to be disabled to understand this movie.
yeah,
But you don't have to be disabled to relate to it. And that's what makes it so universal. We've had so many non-disabled people tell us how much they love it because they relate to the themes of love and self-sabotage. But that's not exclusive to disabled people. That's a very human experience.
yeah.
So yeah, we just want to spread the word. We want to get this out to the world. We want everyone to watch this very beautiful movie.
yeah. And thanks for having us, Martin. And yeah, like the reason we are reaching out to individuals like yourself is because we see you. You built a voice and a platform that's inspiring, that's making impacts throughout our community, and we just feel like we have something special that ultimately we all have the same purpose and goal, I believe, in our community, which is we want change to happen now and we want to rewrite our own story on what it means to be disabled. We're tired of what currently is going on. That's, I believe, the shared purpose and goals that we all are having. We're doing it all in different ways through different voices and different platforms, but ultimately that's where we want to end up. And if this film in some way, shape, or form can just create a movement to unite us to do that now, create change now, rewrite our story now, then let's do it. Like I don't think this is going to be the end all be all for what we really want, but if it could at least be the catalyst to start us to come together, to start really having the conversations together, not alone. I really truly believe that it's going to be something insanely powerful and showing the world what we're actually really capable of and what we actually and that we actually matter. And it's happening. We're having the conversations. People are really resonating with the movie, and it's creating more conversations for what else we're gonna do. And this is a two-way street. It's not just about the movie. Any of the creators, any of the voices, any of the individuals, like it doesn't matter how big, large, if you have a blue check or whatever. We don't care. If you feel what we are doing here and you like the movie, just DM us and we're gonna respond. Like let's chat. Like how we can we support you? And how can we come together? We'd love meeting more people in this community, and that's what it's all about. So yeah, just thanks for the opportunity to let us join your platform, Martin, and tell our story. And we're excited to see what happens next and officially, hopefully, announce us in the European UK area in the very near future as we do day by day in the US and try to get more and more people to watch the movie and share the movie. And yeah, so that's what we're doing here. One Zoom call.
Amazing. As you say, it's not yet in UK and Europe, but I'm sure is it there's what's the best socials for people to follow to hear updates and to, as you say, two-way street to get involved in DM as well.
Yeah, you can go. Our film is at Good Bad Things Film on Instagram. That'd probably be the best. If you want to go to our website, goodbadthings.com, you can email and all the emails come to me. So I will be responding to them. Or, you can look at me. I'm at Danny Kurtzman and Steve's at Steve Way. Be Steve Way, the Steve Way, the Steve Way. You gotta
Perfect.
have the yeah. So yeah, you can DM us. I'm checking them a lot recently because of what is currently going on. So if you want to shoot us a DM and just share something with us, shoot us, we'll respond. Um, and in a timely manner, hopefully, just things don't get too crazy, but just yeah, just hit us up. We'll get back to you eventually, but this is just an open discussion and we're feeling lots of love right now in the community, and we're so stoked to be doing these conversations, Lauren.
Amazing. Guys, thank you for telling this story. Thank you for bringing the film to the world and congratulations on it as well. And thank you for this platform to move this mission forward as a community. It's been really great to chat and looking forward to hearing how it all evolves as well.
Thank you.